So travel trips have been a game changer for us. I feel like for me, one of the biggest things is I would have never hit Hall of Fame last year if I didn't start traveling. I was in the mindset that I could probably write 20, 30K a month here in my hometown, but I get very easily distracted. I'm one of those people, if I'm, getting no-showed or, I have time between appointments, I'm going to go home and make myself a sandwich, take a nap or whatever. So I feel like I've realized that travel trips have made me use my time more wisely and effectively. So our goal each and every single month, we probably go on 2 to 3 travel trips per month. It just keeps us out of our comfort zone. And we've noticed that we write a lot more premium when we do go on these travel trips because we're there for one purpose, and it's to work. So there's no distractions. You can kind of go through the structure of how we kind of lay everything out.
Yeah. So basically what we're looking for is usually 2 to 3 day travel trips. So pretty quick, you're there to work. Now, when I say we're there to work, like our last travel trip, we were at over 74,000 and possibly more to come off that. But in those 5 days, we estimated we probably ran close to 60 appointments, like 60 sits with clients. And so our closing percentage wasn't like 90% or 100%. It was pretty much average. If they wanted it, we're there to help. If not, that's okay. Maybe next time, and we're on to the next person because we're busy. But we were running, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 appointments every single day. And so if you're having a tough time in town or you can't get leads in your area for whatever reason, and you're struggling to get as many appointments as you want, maybe look at a travel trip and maybe just look at a 2, 3, 4, 5 day blitz where you're going to go out there and run 40 appointments. I learned the business. My very first time was on the road because of that sole reason. I got, way more practice in a way shorter amount of time rather than just kind of having a half butt schedule for a week or two and going that way. So what we like to do is we'll find an area in the CRM where there's chase the leads. So we look at the CRM, we find a bunch of instant internet life leads, final expense, mortgage protection, whatever it is. We ran, I would say a pretty even spread.
Yeah. We had a huge lead flow
with everything. And basically what we do is we look for the areas. So we find these areas, we book a flight. So we book a one-way. So we used to book round trips. So we would have get there Monday, we book, and then we run, Tuesday, Wednesday, come back Thursday. What we do now is we just book a one-way. And the reason why is exactly like our last trip. If we have momentum, we're starting to maybe get a couple referrals and things are going well, we're not going to leave the area because we have such momentum.
Exactly. We had planned to stay until Sunday, and we ended up extending our trip another 5 days just because we already had that momentum. Once you have it, you don't want to lose it, right? So stay within that area, buy more leads in that area. So
book your hotel. And so book it for the 2-3 days you think you're going to be there. If you have to extend it, that's fine. Same thing with the rental car. And then depending on what kind of person you are, if you like it in hand or just on your phone or computer, we used to print out all of our leads. Now we have them more computer or phone just because it's a little bit more simple for us and we like it better that way. But make sure you have your leads. And so for us, like I said, super high activity. So we get there the first day, we're going to book for the next 2 days out. After 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row, we get pretty tired because we're doing so many presentations. So we like to book, run 2 days, the day after that book again for 2 days. So kind of like a in-town schedule, but a lot more activity in that schedule. So we have our leads.
I would say to up your activity, and this is one thing that Andrew Taylor taught us, is to make sure you're prepared, have your leads, and at least have a few appointments booked before you get there. The last thing you want to do is go on a travel trip, be able to book no appointments. You check the CRM, maybe that area, someone else bought the leads in that area. So the thing is that you want to be prepared. And by doing that, you'll just, if say you're leaving on a Monday, you'll start dialing on a Sunday to get prepared for that Tuesday, Wednesday field day, those run days. So
yeah, if you dial and you only have 1 or 2 for that first field day, then maybe you push them out and leave the next day. So make sure you're there and you're gonna have high activity. Every single day you're there, it's gonna count. You're not going there for the first day for a few appointments. Make sure if you have to postpone it a day or 2, you do that so you're the most effective. So it's basically what we do. We have our leads. And so we're going to make sure that we're working from, 8 a.m. to 9, 10 p.m. most days, sometimes earlier. And, if we get no showed, we're going to book some extra appointments. If we have some gaps or maybe someone had to reschedule or no show from the day before, if we have a gap, we're going to go door knock. And so just making sure that we're maximizing every single second. And if you get too busy, that's a good thing. You can always push it to the next day or the day after that if you have to.
Absolutely. So be very efficient with your time. Just like Hayden says, if you're, you're not going to go back to your hotel room just like you would go back home here, or if you're in town or where you're from when you're on a travel trip. So the biggest thing is just being super, super effective with your time. So if you're, you get no-showed, bring out your leads and dial in the car, or use Road Warrior to map out your drop bys. So just super, super effective.
Yeah, and then I think something else that helps with road trips, and it's like a weird like mental thing, is just efficiency. So I was watching a podcast with Andrew and Matt Smith last night at the airport, and Matt was talking about he books appointments by selling time and urgency. So, hey, I'm super busy. I'm going to see 15, 20 families. I only have 10 to 15 minutes. I can do it either 6 or 7:30. So same with us, people want to sit with people who are busy. And so, with us, we have such a busy schedule that when we're giving them, 1 or 2 options, and they know we're only going to be out there for 2 or 3 days.
And
we make sure
that we let them know that we're not from there. So they're actually so busy, John and Mary, in this area that they sent us out here from Arizona to help you, just so we made sure we got you your protection in time. So we push urgency, we push that we're only there for a few days, and we push that we're not actually from that state.
Yep. Focusing on qualifications. So they want to think about it. They're just looking for prices or quotes. Hey, that's fine, John and Mary. We're only out here for a few days and we're from out of town, but our job is to see 1, if you can qualify, and then 2, what the best program would be in place for you. So, if you don't want to make a decision now, that's fine. We're just here to see if you can qualify. So what we're going to do is while we're in town, we're only out here for a few days, like we said, is we're going to put an application in today to see if you can even qualify. If you do, then us or our assistant's going to call you back in the next 72 hours and let you know if you are qualified or not. If you are, this is the steps that's going to happen, your policy be in the mail, etc. So.
Absolutely. Do you want to talk about lead flow and like exactly where people should go, what kind of leads they should buy, when they should buy them?
Yeah, I think that honestly, there's no such thing as, the golden best lead. I think all leads work if you work, and we've all heard that a million times.
I think a lot of people even this time they've asked us, oh, what kind of leads are you guys running? And our answer was a lot of everything, basically. Like our lead spend, what was it, around $5,000 each? So we spent about $10,000 on leads to write that 74,000. So it's not like we got lucky or all these sales are big. Like we sat a lot of people and we got in front of them, and we didn't sell most of the people, but we just kept increasing our lead flow. And we felt like the next day we didn't have enough appointments, we would just buy more leads out of the CRM to be able to book those schedules up. So
yeah, exactly.
What were you hitting on?
You hit on the head. Just basically make sure you have enough leads. If you're already committing to going out there with a flight and hotel and food and gas and rental car and all that stuff, make sure you have more leads than less leads, because you're already in the game. You're already playing. You're already ready to go. Make sure you have enough to make it worth it, instead of just having, a few leads that maybe you might have a decent schedule for 1 or 2 days. Make sure that you have more than enough, because you're already invested. You're already playing the game. Make sure that you get maximum amount of it, and you have enough to make sure you can write as much as possible and help as many families that requested your help as possible.
Absolutely. And then just, of course, going where the leads are. So the way we map out our travel trips, and we don't always go to just one place, we go to a bunch of different places. And the way we find those places is simply by logging into our CRM. So if we see that New Jersey right now has couple hundred instant life leads, that's where we're going to go, because we know that we can buy all those leads up and write a ton of business. So that's the goal, is to chase the leads and go where the leads are.
Yep. And then in terms of if you're new, or if you just haven't really done any travel trips, super simple to get your out-of-state license. So say today you think, I want to go on a travel trip. This sounds awesome. I want to maximize my production. You look in the CRM and there's a ton of leads in Vermont, but you're from the West Coast or you don't have a Vermont license. Basically, all you're going to do is, basically go to the state's insurance website, nipr.com, apply for the license. Depending on the state, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100 maybe. It's going to last a couple of years. You apply. Most states within 48 hours are going to approve you for the license, submit it to the carriers, and then you're ready to basically go.
Perfect. One thing someone had asked us is how our AP per sale was so high on this trip. What would you say that we did differently this trip to make sure that our AP was so high?
One day I looked at Dina after like the first like 4 or 5 appointments. And I'm like calculating in my head, and I'm like, you know, in the last 4 or 5 appointments, we've shown like 70,000 AP. Like one home, we showed like almost 30,000 AP to a couple. So I think this trip we really mastered and figured out that we want to show the maximum amount they can qualify for, no matter what, just so they know their options. And guess what? Sometimes you would actually surprise yourself, never prejudge. Showing higher, they might want that extra protection. They might want the most they can qualify for because they know it's important. So always show big. If you need to down close and go lower, you can always do that. But if you don't show big at the first, you know, part of the presentation, it's a little bit harder to go up higher from there.
I think oftentimes and I'm guilty of this because I've done it before, is I used to not show big because I used to be scared of what they would think. Like, oh, that's way too expensive. But no one even said that to us. Like, we showed huge numbers, and I think it was just expected. Okay, you know, John, Mary, with your age right now, this isn't going to be the same price that it was when you were 20 years old. It's going to be a lot more expensive. So we just show big. That's it. Show the most that they can qualify for. The worst that they could say is, oh no, that's too expensive. And then you down close them. It's super, super easy to down close, but it's very hard to upsell. How many times have you showed 3 options and they go for the highest option? You're like, dang, I could have got more premium out of that. Or I could have shown them a bigger program, right? Yep. So always show big. You'd be doing them a disservice by not showing them the most that they could possibly qualify for. So let's talk about our in-home. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll do, you know, we ran a lot of instants this trip, and we can kind of roll through an instant internet life lead appointment. So.
Yeah. So pretty much the only difference here that we're changing being on the road is just really increasing that urgency, letting them know, you know, we're out of town, we're only here for a few days. We need to get something done today. We got to see if you can qualify. So that's the premise on every appointment. I think that helps because, like I said, when you're busy, when you're, you know, have a lot of people to see, then they're going to value your time more, and just letting them know we're here to do business. We're only here for a little bit. Like the quote guide, you can go to Google and find that. You can call into the companies and find that. We're here to see if you can qualify. We're going to get something done now, and we don't even know if you qualify yet, but we will see in a few days from there. So
I really like what Hayden added. We'll go through his in-home, but when we are going through, you know, the intro of our in-home, you know, we showing our state license, you know, showing them the request that they filled out. I always used to say, what pushed you to fill this request out? You changed something about your intro. And what do you add now?
Yeah, basically just whatever kind of request it is, they're all kind of similar. So John, when you filled this out online, or John, when you filled it out and sent it in, what did you like best about it? Do you like the fact that it's going to pay off your final expenses when you pass away? Did you like the fact that it's going to make sure that if you come down with cancer or heart attack or a stroke, it's going to pay off the loan, or it's going to pay out that amount to your family? Do you like the fact that it's immediate coverage, meaning if something happens tomorrow, you know, it's going to pay out to your family? Do you like the fact that if you get qualified today, the price is never going to go up, it's never going to go down, and they can never cancel it if you become sick in the future? They'll actually pay out if it has living benefits.
Asking them those questions forces them to give you a direct answer of, this is why I filled it out. I filled it out because I really like those living benefits. I like that form says that if I become terminally, chronically, or critically ill, this money is going to pay me out. So I like that you added that. Keep going.
Yep, cool. So just super quick, just basically getting to the home, letting them know, you know, who I am, showing them my state license so they're comfortable, and then asking them what their favorite part of it, the program or whatever they filled out or requested was. From there, letting them know why I'm there. So I'm here to basically answer any questions you have, go over your options, and see if you can qualify and put something in place today. So not tomorrow, not a week from now, today I'm out here, we're getting the job done. I only have, 10, 15 minutes. I'm really busy. I'm glad I could even get out here to see you. And then from there, basically going through everything. So, hey, John, these final expense programs are really hard to qualify. And going through that, or these mortgage protection or these, life insurance programs, really hard to qualify. We're going to see if you can qualify. And then from there, kind of what options we have based on your situation. So basically just going through the health inventory sheet, getting towards the bottom. Something that was kind of a breakthrough for me in this trip was really good annuity conversations. And so asking the golden question, hey, what do you have to pay off the cost of your final expenses? What do you have to pay off the cost of your mortgage when something happens? Any 401k? any IRAs, any life insurance. Oh, you have life insurance? Great. How much coverage do you have? When did you get that? What's the what company is it through?
That's
How
one
much
thing.
a month?
Another thing is, always, always, always make sure you look at any existing coverage that they do have. I think that's super important. We got our biggest sale yet. It was over $1,200 a month. We simply got that sale just by looking at other coverage that he had in place.
Yep.
And sometimes you'll get your clients that are like, oh no, I don't know where it is, or oh no, yeah, I can't find it. I haven't been able to find that somewhere, dug in with all my other paperwork. My go-to line when someone says that is, okay, no worries, I'll wait. If you can't find it now, what makes you think your beneficiary is going to be able to when something happens? So it really pushes them to go grab that policy. Like, you need to look at that, because chances are if they got their policy 20 years ago and it's a really good policy, chances are you're not going to be able to put them in a better situation. But if they got their policy 5 years ago, and with our incredible products, like, you could put them in a better situation. Jen talks about it all the time. Oh, you have life insurance, but you don't have mortgage protection, or you don't have something with living benefits, or what do you have that's going to be there the day you die, not just that's going to be there within that term. So always look at their policy.
Yeah, always look at that. We actually had 2 sales for that one she was talking about, and then another one for over 20,000 combined with those 2, because we simply just said, hey, get the policies out, let's take a look at them. And they were going up, or they had bad benefits, or they didn't, it wasn't what they thought they had. So always make sure. Funny thing about our biggest sale is we were an hour late to it. And so if we wouldn't have went, we wouldn't have not known. And if we weren't busy, then, I don't know what happened. So that's basically it. And then go through everything as normal. The close, a couple different close. My close, basically what I like to say is, show them the 3 options, or show them 1 option or 2 options with different coverage amounts. And then basically say, hey, John, so based on what I just showed you, what option do you like best for your family? Hey, John, with the options I just showed you, how much coverage do you think or do you want to leave behind for your family? And then just shut up, let them think. And let them tell you. If they say they want to think about it, or, I don't know, I have to talk to my mom who's a life insurance agent, or whatever it is, that's totally fine, John. And like I said, the reason why I'm here is to see if you can even qualify. America is the best company we work with because of X, Y, and Z. And if you can qualify, it'll be the best program for you. So what we're going to do today is we're going to put an application in. I always suggest we always qualify for the most we can afford and the most protection you want to leave. So in the first 30 days, we can always adjust the coverage up or down if we need to, but it might be hard to adjust the coverage up. And so with you said you like the amount for, 25,000 of final expense coverage. What we're going to do is apply for that today. If you get approved, basically the process is we're going to call you in the next 72 hours, let you know if you're approved or declined. If you are approved, the policy is going to come in the mail in the next week. Look through it, keep it where, your family can find it somewhere safe. And then during those 30 days, what you're going to do is you're going to call me if you want to adjust the coverage down. But like I said, we always want to make sure we can qualify for the most that we can get right now. So go ahead and get your ID. I'm going to start the application, and then from there, we'll let you know and we'll see if you can qualify.
Boom.
So
there you go.
Can you go over how you sell the living benefits? Like you said, you went in.
Absolutely. Yeah. So my biggest thing, I hit on living benefits in the very beginning. So if it's, let's just say a mortgage protection appointment, I'll go in, I'll show them the form that they had filled out, and I'll show them my state license. So I'll say, my name's Nina. I'm licensed by the state of Arizona to legally go over this with you. This is who I work with, and I'll show them the credibility sheet, and I'll just say, this is who I work with. I work with Family First Life. I'm a broker. I'm not a captive agent. So what that means is I don't just work for one company. I don't give one quote. I don't do any of that. I'm like the Expedia for insurance. So basically I could find you the best price and can find you something that you can qualify for. I'm sure you've seen and recognize most of the companies that we work with. And I'll point out a few just because it builds credibility. Who hasn't seen Aetna, CVS? Who hasn't seen Mutual of Omaha or Americo? So I'll kind of point those out. They'll confirm, and then I'll say, okay, awesome. As a company, at the bottom of our credibility sheet, it says life insurance, mortgage protection, and safe money retirement or future income planning. I hit on that hardcore. So if I'm in a mortgage protection appointment, I'll say, the 3 areas that we focus on as a company are life insurance, mortgage protection insurance, and safe money retirement. John or Mary, do you guys know the difference between mortgage protection insurance and life insurance? And most of the time they think they do. And I'll ask them. So if John says, yes, I do. Okay, awesome. What is it? And like, I'll have them answer to me. And usually they'll say, well, one protects the mortgage. That's when I'll go back and say, well, yes, it does protect the mortgage. But the biggest difference between life insurance and mortgage protection is that life insurance is only going to pay out when you die. I like to call it death insurance. So if you die within the term of your policy or whatever it is, it's going to pay out. Where mortgage protection insurance has 100% living benefits if you qualify. That means if you ever became terminally, chronically, or critically ill, as well as death, it's going to pay out. Does that make sense? And then they'll ask, oh, look, what's a terminal, chronic, critical illness? Something like a heart attack, stroke, cancer, something of that sort. And then I'll go into the inventory sheet from there. So I really break down that difference for them to understand. And then they love the living benefits. So, even when you review their policy, like, yeah, you might have life insurance, but do you have living benefits? And I'll go through their entire policy to make sure. We can almost always put them in a better situation.
Yep. And the other side of it, if it's a older person, it's a final expense. Very similar thing about living benefits. So get to the bottom of the sheet. Once you've talked about the companies we work with, who you are. Someone asked, do you carry a state specific license with you everywhere you go? Absolutely. That would be weird if I was in California and I had an Arizona state license to show them. That doesn't make sense. So go to nipr.com, or they have a great app that we use. You can print off your license, have it in your binder, make sure you're prepared, make sure you're professional. But going back to what Nina was saying, we're talking about living benefits. So it's a final expense appointment. So John, do you know the difference between, a final expense life insurance and, a prepaid burial or life insurance? And they're going to say, well, no. And I'm going to say, okay, great. That's why I'm here. The reason, or the difference is obviously we're all going to die and they're going to pay out no matter what, or hopefully, but with final expense life insurance, and the reason why you requested this is because it has living benefits. So what that means, John, is we're all going to die, but let's be honest, there's a lot higher chance that something's going to happen to us before we die, like cancer, heart attack, stroke, something of that nature. Where if something of that nature happens, the policy is going to pay out to you before you even pass away. That's pretty cool, right? And then go through it just so they kind of have an idea of why, what the products cover and the differences between just, kind of maybe what they think or what they've heard of and what we can offer with living benefits. So
absolutely. I think we should also hit on referral collection on travel trips, which you're really good at.
Let me add one more thing. I saw it and I thought it was a really good thing a couple of weeks ago. When people have on the phone, I already have life insurance, or in the house, I already have life insurance. Oh, nice. John, do you know, like how long ago did you get that? Oh, like 20 years ago. Okay, great. So you probably have the old insurance, right? Or do you have the new insurance? Well, what's the new insurance? Well, the new insurance is kind of like the one you have, but it's like the, life insurance on steroids, has living benefits. Are you familiar with those? If your old policy has those, and they're either going to say no, or I don't know. Okay, pull out the policy, let's look through. And then from there, just basically talking about, hey, this policy would actually pay out if you had a heart attack, a stroke, cancer, leukemia, heart disease, something like that nature, because there's a lot bigger chance that something like that could happen first before you pass away. Let's see if you can qualify for this, and just talk about that so you're educating, they know what living benefits are.
Yeah. And 100% living benefits with Americo. That's why we lead with Americo.
Yep.
There we go. Referral collection. I think that's huge on travel trips. While you're already there, why not collect as many referrals as possible? That way you could stay longer. That way you could write more premiums. So we actually added that to our most recent travel trip, and it helped a lot. And he was really good at the referral portion of it. So
yeah,
if you want to roll through that.
If you put them in a great position, like we always do, and you're professional and they like you and you make it easy on them. So back to what we started talking about, simplified issue. We had a guy that he didn't want to get a physical. He didn't care if it was $100 cheaper a month or $50 cheaper. He didn't want to get a physical. He wanted to be easy. He wanted to have the coverage that day. He wanted to be approved on the spot. So you do a good job and they're going to like you. So back to what Nina was saying with referrals, basically, at the end of the presentation, go through everything. I'm your agent for life. Look through the policy. When it comes in the next couple of days, if you have any questions, call me. If you want to upgrade the coverage or change it, let me know as well. And then, John, like I said, I'm only out here for a few days and I have a lot of people to see, but I've been telling everyone that I sit with, because I want to help you guys. If you guys have 1 or 2 or 3 family members or friends or neighbors that are interested in this coverage, or you think might have the old life insurance and you want to get them a new one with the living benefits, then I'm totally okay if you give them my phone number or you want them to call me. I'll try to squeeze them in. I'm not sure if I can because I'm so busy and I have my other people that my company sent to see out. But if they want to give me a call or shoot me a text, I'd be happy to see if I can, work with them, help them out. So basically just maximizing your opportunities. Like it's just almost like a mental thing. Be serious. Like, why would you go on a travel trip to not get them qualified? Why would you let them think about it and then call you in 2 weeks because they're never going to call you? So go through it, get them qualified, do your job, talk about retirement, talk about referrals. Just make sure you're getting every single thing out of every
area with them that you can. Absolutely. Because you're only there for a few days and you're not the local guy. The local guy's really busy. That's why they sent you out. So yeah. Is there anything else we should hit on?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
We talk fast.
I'd like work-life balance is in the beginning, because I mean, it would be important to talk about how hard you guys do work.
Yeah.
I think saying 70 appointments in 5 days, but talk about what the payoff is.
Payoff is 75 grand in 5 days. But seriously, it's just something. This is like the best business ever. No matter if you're brand new, you've been experienced, like, trust me when I say this is the best thing. And so it's one of those things where you can kind of half butt it for a couple of years and, do a decent job, but why wouldn't you take advantage and go hard while you can? Something that I was talking about, Nina, that we've been in business for a couple of years. We've been together for a couple of years now. And it's like, I was telling her the other week, we've gotten really good at managing our time and not wasting any time. And so, for example, we ran pretty much the whole last week. We were out on our travel trip. We came home last night on a red eye. We landed at like 8:30 this morning, got our bags, got home, showered, had some calls, did some computer stuff, called some carriers. Then we're back at the office today. And my mom shot me a text and she was like, take a break, like, you need to relax. And I was like, hell no, I'm not going to relax. And she was like, you need to relax, like work-life balance. And for most people, that's what they think. And would I rather be sitting home and chilling right now? Like, my subconscious mind would rather do that. But the fact that that would be comfortable and something I want to do, I'm not going to do that. And so it's just one of those things where with integrity and the high compensation, the renewals and the team building and that kind of thing, why would you not work hard and travel and make as much money and help as many people as possible, as fast as you can?
We talk about all the time. We love vacations. We love all that just as much as the next person. But we like, with our previous insurance company, we would vacation like all the time just because we weren't serious about it. And we didn't see like the bigger picture, the integrity deal, the big future, anything like that. So like we realize here, we talk about it all the time. This isn't like a 20, 30, 40-year thing, wait for your raise, wait, to get a promotion. It's nothing like that. It's literally put your head down, focus, go all in for 2 years, just like Grady did. And you'll literally be set for the rest of your life. So someone just said 2 to 5 years, and that's all it is. And, we are 25 right now. It's like, we know where we're headed and we know what we're going to do by the time we're 30. So I'd rather put in all the work right now and then play later.